sacking of the ministers is not the problem. The problem lies in the hardship. Let the government reduce fuel price.
In less than a week after returning from a 2-week vacation, President Bola Tinubu has made some changes in his cabinet, sacking and appointing new ministers. Those sacked were the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohanenye, Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejohn, Minister of Education, Tahir Maman, Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Gwarzo, and Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Ibrahim. The president nominated Maigari Dingyadi as the Minister of Labour and Employment, Idi Maiha as Minister for the newly created Livestock Development Ministry, Yusuf Atta as Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Shuaiba Ahmad as Minister of State for Education, and Dr. Nentawe Yilwada replacing Betta Edu as Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu was appointed Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, while Jumoke Oduwole was named Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, replacing Doris Uzoka Anite, who has been reassigned as the Minister of State Finance. The cabinet change has continued to elicit different reactions from citizens. A public affairs analyst, Jide Ojo, said the move was apt looking at the current situation of things in Nigeria and the failure of some of the ministers to meet the expectations of Nigerians.
It's long overdue, and it's even underwhelming because I had expected more heirs to rule. 48 ministers, 1 year in office, no impact. Nigerians are suffering, they are writhing in pains, and these are aides and lieutenants of the president. So if they are not helping him to achieve his 8-point agenda, then they don't have business being in government. But the bottom line is that it's underwhelming to the extent that we expected bigger change than the 7 that were replaced. 6 that were sacked. But be that as it may, it's within the prerogative of the president to do what he did. And as I've said on several media platforms, I wish it were the changes were extensive.
It's actually a welcoming development from what I see so far, because some of those people that was reshuffled, some of them were not meeting up.
Although some of President Tinubu's ministers are delivering on the renewed hope mandate, many Nigerians are yet to see how it has cascaded into improving their lives, especially at the grassroots.
We do not need Ministry of Police Affairs, in my own estimation. There is a Police Service Commission that should get the larger chunk of the budget to do the constitutional duties that has been assigned by it. If you can do that for Sport Ministry, which is what unites Nigeria, you can as well do it for Minister of Police Affairs. And of course, many people are saying, what is the impact of marine and blue economy in the last 1 year? What's the impact that Minister of State Development has made? Now, rather than reducing cost of governance, we are increasing it, because the number of ministers now have risen to about 50. Because if you add Mr. President to it, and this new Minister of Livestock Development, we are talking of 50. So what impact have these 50 been able to make? It's important. But on the flip side, as I've said, it's good that for the first time we are having appointments and their proposed designated space, being put together. So it helps the Senate in doing a proper screening. So if you are a doctor of medicine and then you are being proposed to go to Minister of Environment, it will be they will be able to grill you about your competence to be able to hold that portfolio. You understand what I mean? So that is a plus, and the fact that we are having this change ahead of the submission of the budget for 2025, it also is positive, because then the ministries and the ministers will be able to have funds for their ministries. Like Minister of Livestock, Development has never been there before. So to have it now is a welcome development, and then they will be able to get the budget in the 2025 appropriation bill.
The livestock ministry that was created also is a good one. It's a good one, at least to some extent. It's going to cover these headers, farmers clash and all that. It's going to bring a lasting solution if the minister will do good work on it.
Despite the move being supported by some Nigerians, many are calling on President Tinubu to address the increasing fuel price.
Sacking of the ministers is not the problem. The problem lies in the hardship. The hardship experienced by the people of this nation right now is the major issue. The government have not been able to alleviate the suffering of the people. The primary duty of government is the welfare, security, welfare of the people. In Nigeria now, hunger has become the order of the day. Many families cannot feed. It's unfortunate. Let the government reduce fuel price.
In my own opinion, what Mr. President did was right, because these people were given this schedule to do their jobs successfully for the betterment of Nigerians. If we can recall what happened during President Muhammadu Buhari, we Nigerians were very angry with him, because people were complaining about his ministers and he did nothing about them. But now, Mr. Tinubu, we think he really wants this minister to work. Since he started doing this, those that it is a lot to those that those that he didn't touch them. So now I think they will do better.
By now, we are expecting especially we are expecting some certain expectation from those ministers. But since when we have seen something is so slow, and I think the hope agenda, all the people have this hope that they can perform. But if there is some certain lapses, that at least we would hope to challenge. I think the reshuffle is, we said it's okay.
They are not working. So if you appoint a minister or create another ministry in this country, it's the way to create another problem. They will ought to go and invest for themselves. There is no sincere person, because what we are passing through.
Many Nigerians will be hoping that these newly appointed ministers will take a cue from their predecessors and hit the ground running, as there are no rooms for failure. Ebere Anebo for True Vision TV, Abuja.